Okay, our Tigers had about 14-15 hours to cure off. It looking pretty good. Now, I did some research last night, and these colors I chose may not be 100% accurate. The final production of this Tiger was in sometime between anywhere from May to July. I think it's July-ish. The last Tigers rolled off the line, and this paint wasn't adopted until mid-late-ish August. So we may have jumped the gun in using this color, but I'll call it artistic license. You got to have some artistic license. So what we're going to be using is X22 Tamiya Clear and X20A Thinner. The reason you want to do this is you want to protect the paint from any damage from the weathering process, and you want to give it a nice glossy coat for the decal so you don't get any silvering. Now this Vallejo stuff dries fairly shiny, so it's not too bad. It's a nice tough, or sorry, not Vallejo, I misspoke there, the MIG. The AK Interactive and the MIG dries kind of glossy and it's nice. So I'm using the Iwata Neo. Well, it's not really an Iwata, it's made for Iwata. And I was down at Michael's last night picking up some stuff for my son. And lo and behold, they had 0.5 needle for this. But they wanted $35, which is kind of steep for a needle and nozzle. But a nice hipster standing in line in front of me turned me on to their 55% off coupon. So $18. So we got our 0.5 nozzle, which I've been wanting to spray thinners, not thinners, to spray primers. Crank this pressure up a little bit more. I'm going to shoot this on. Let's get a shot on about 30 pounds here, guys, just to... Now, aircraft are a lot different than armor. You want a super smooth finish. You want everything glossy and everything shiny. That's why I don't do a lot of aircraft, because honestly, I'm not that ship hot on doing shiny stuff and doing super smooth finishes. I like the rougher stuff. I can do it. If pressed, I can do it. I've done some aircraft. I've got some aircraft queued up that I have to build that have been sitting for a while. The big thing is just to give everything that you're going to weather, give it a good coat, and that includes the tracks, because we are going to be weathering these tracks. So make sure you give them a good gloss coat of the Tamiya Clear. So we'll finish that up, guys. Alright, it's time for decals, or for my American friends, decals. For everyone else in the world, decals. Okay, what do you need for decals? Well, tweezers are a good thing. Sharp knife and a good pair of scissors. Use your sharp, small scissors to cut out your decals. Boom, just like that. Decaling is a piece of piss. And to make them snuggle down, you can use the, there's lots of different things to use. I generally don't use any of the Microsols because I just don't have them. I've got Tamiya, which I've never used, and my favorite, which is Gunze Mr. Mark Softener. That's probably my go-to decal solution. So, you'll need some warm water. Just warm, not super hot. And a flat piece of plastic to put your decals on after you've dipped them. And some cotton buds. Decaling, like I said, is pretty simple. You drop the decals into the warm water. You pop them on your piece of pallet, plastic. Now this has very few decals, so you can pretty much get all your decals setting into the water, softening up, and then let's just wait for them to get ready. Alright, so I guess the question is, Glockster, how do you know when your decals have soaked enough? Take your tweezers and just give your decals a little bit of movement. If they move, they're ready to roll. Okay, we're going to slide that out of the way. Okay. Now then, we get our decal ready. Get some decal solution. Get an idea of about approximately where you're going to put your decal. And with this, it's either using experience or you just kind of know where they went. In this case, the show right about there. Zimmerit is a tough surface to put down decals. Expect to use a lot of softening agent, but Dragon decals usually respond pretty damn good to the Gunze. Alright, we get them roughly where we are. Put them on, and so you can see how much they don't want to snuggle in, but we'll just put them in there. And we're really going to put the decal solution to this. Okay. These are pretty thick. So we'll start with that. And if these decals don't respond with the Gunze, we'll break out the real super heavy duty stuff. Now then we're going to use some bigger ones. For the back. I gotta tell you, decaling while filming is a real challenge. But we seem to be doing okay, reasonably good. I'm sure somebody will come up with something snide to say. A couple guys have been busting my balls about being too critical of $100 model kits. Oh, you can, they're not $100, you can find them, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, alright, you know what? If you can get them for the price you figure, you can knock yourself out, but when you start paying the taxes and stuff that we are up here, it's $100. So, anyway, there we go. We very carefully just hit them with cotton bud. Very, very carefully. And see how nicely those went on, because they got a flat surface. But you can see those with the Gunze mark softener, they're snuggling right in. Snuggling right into that heavy, heavy Zimmerit. And that's awesome. Let's get that last puppy on. Now, this one we're going to put up. Huh. Isn't that awesome? I put that the wrong place. Ha! So much for friggin' references, eh? That's what happens when you're trying to film and do things at once. You screw up. So we'll get this one on this side properly. Newsflash, it don't matter. It's just a model. Okay guys, decals are on. It's kind of a couple hours to settle in. They settled right down. A couple of them did come apart. These are usually Dragon decals are really good, but these were a little odd. Anyway, back in the 80s, when I first started getting into models, early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, the big thing was called a wash, what we call filters now. And the wash consisted of either jet black or dark brown, and you swath the entire model in it. You'd let it sit and you rub it down, and you would have a jet black model. It would just totally destroy the hues of the paint. So the secret is to do pin washes where you're just hitting the seams and the lines. Now what I've done is I've taken some Vallejo black and a little bit of neutral just to lighten up the black so it's not super dark. and just give a pin wash. We call this a pin wash now, is what they call it now, is what the professional models call it, is a pin wash. And what we want to do is we just want to let it use the capillary action. Now that's why you put on the gloss, one of the reasons you put on the gloss coat. It makes this flow. If you try and do it on a flat surface, it just doesn't flow. You see, you can pop that down, you put it down, and it covers almost the entire friggin' thing. Now I am going along here because this has got a little bit of a welded detail on it, which I want to highlight that. Otherwise, you just pop the paint in like that and let it circle around and hit those highlights. Now something along here, you see there's little rivet details here. Those rivets just jump right up, and we'll just use that on there, and then we'll just wipe this all down. Now you can let this sit. If you've got a good heavy gloss coat on it, you can let these sit. You can almost virtually come back the next day and wipe them down. So for more detailed work, just go to look at my pin wash video, and if you need a little bit more detail, but we'll just carry on here.